Some of it. I thought this year couldn't get any worse. Every one it keeps getting worse and worse, you know. Now, I did find this out earlier today because I was at work, so I couldn't give any rage or anything because I was at work, so I couldn't do any of that sort though. But when I found out about it in my mind, I was just bouncing off the walls inside my mind, you know. Yes, people I know by now. Yeah, Jason David Frank, Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, sadly has now passed away at the age of 49. They claim it was suicide. Not sure how though, but it just said suicide. So I just thought this year can't get. This was just such an unexpected, you know, ever since the beginning of this year, when I was in shock about when I found out that Bob Saget died, you know. Same thing here. I was shocked when I first heard about now that Jason David Frank, Tommy the Green Ranger, and also the White Ranger, yes, but for many people he'll always be the Green Ranger before the White Ranger. This year just freaking sucked. I would probably say this is the worst year for all these good actors from passing away. This year has been the worst. Now, let's see. I can't name everyone. I've done so many has died this year. Let's see. Yes, like I said, from Bob Saget to Gilbert Gottfried, you know, another comedian. Fred Ward, James Caan, Ray Liotta. What else? David Warner, Robert Coltrane. Who else? Angela Lansbury. You know, Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast. Who else? Pat Carroll, Ursula from Little Mermaid. I said David Warner. James Caan I mentioned. Fred Ward. Who the frick else? There's so many. I can't remember. I'll have to recap at the end of this year though. But yeah, but now that Jason David Frank is now on this list, you know, that I just. Oh yeah, Coolio. I forgot to mention. Yeah, Coolio. Yeah, rapper Coolio is now passed away too. Yeah. All these other people that you know we grew up watching, you know, and especially Jason David Frank, you know, because a lot of guys who like me, you know, who was born in the 90s. Well, I was born in 91, so Power Rangers didn't come until 93. But just watching on TV growing up, you know, and then watching the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Yeah, we enjoyed the cast of the original Power Rangers, and even the second newcomers of the Rangers later in the second season, you know. Which I admit that the second season's yellow, black, red Rangers. I met original Black Ranger Walter Jones years ago. Austin St. John, Jason from the original Red Ranger as well. David Fielding, who played Zordon, I met. You know, I posted those celebrity things out on my channel. You know, photos of me meeting people. You know, those, especially Walter Jones. That was from years ago though, but it's still on the channel. You can just like me meeting Walter Jones. You know, Austin St. John. You know, and sadly though, the original Yellow Ranger, she passed away all the way back in 2001. So that was not even possible because it's all the way back in 2001. And the only ones I haven't met was Amy Jo Johnson, original. Kimberly from the Pink Ranger, and David Yost from the original Blue Ranger, you know. And we're also, Jason David Frank was also one of them, but now that's not even possible now, because he's now passed away now, sadly. And I loved the original Power Rangers growing up, you know. Me and my brothers watched all the time, you know. You know, Taylor was saying, oh, it's from Jason, the Red Ranger, and especially Tommy, you know, the Green Ranger. Go, Green Ranger, go. And, you know, the Dragon Zor, you know. And then second season became the White Ranger, the White Tiger Zord, and White Ranger, Tiger Power, White Ranger, Tiger Power. Although he'll always be the Green Ranger, because I mean I like the White Ranger though, like the costume and Saba, the talking sword. But he always be the great. He always me and Jill always say that he always be the Green Ranger, with the Dragon Dagger, the Dragon Zord. Which the Dragon Zord is still a much better Zord than the White Tiger Zord to me, And then later he would go play the Red Ranger of the Zeo, the Power Ranger Zeo, to be the red Zeo Ranger. And I mean, growing up, I enjoyed the Power Rangers movie from 1995. The first movie I enjoyed, yeah, it was, you would say, campy, cheesy, though. But the thing is, when you're a kid, I thoroughly enjoyed it though when I was a kid. Although I will still say, yes, the CGI, especially on the Zords, and even Ivan News and that thing, what he was, yeah, I will still say, yes, it is still terrible CGI still. Yeah, I will still say it is still very bad CGI. That does not hold up. Even from 1995, that does not hold up nowadays. I will give it that, though. I will still say the CGI on the Zords and all those mechanical monsters that from Ivan News had, and then it even became one, it was still a very bad CGI. I will give one knockoff to the movie is the CGI. Although there was still practical effects in the movie, like with that big dinosaur skeleton, and even with those rock creatures they were fighting as well. So there were still decent, good mixture in the in the suits as well. Still good effects. Oh, that I forget what's the name of that pig thing in the movie that was with Goldar. He was the most useless side character I have seen in the Power Rangers series. The pig, with the one glass eye thing he had. I forget what those things are called, the one glass eye thing. He was such a useless character in this movie. He served no purpose. If you took him out of that movie and just had Goldar, he would still be, you would not miss him at all. He was such a useless character. I just couldn't stand that guy. That pig character. But anyway, yeah. But then also following up, then they get the Turbo movie, which I did rant on a while back. That I was not a fan of, though, honestly. The Turbo movie, I was not a fan of it. Although I will still say the effects of the Zords was an improvement over the CGI of the Zords in the first movie. I would say it was a bit of an improvement, though. But the thing is, though, the film was just so boring. It just took a long time to keep going. And I ranted on that Turbo movie long ago. You can Google and check it out. And then, of course, with the 2017 movie where Jason David Frank, he cameoed along with Amy Jo Johnson at the end of the movie after the big battle was over. They had a cameo appearance as some people just taking pictures, Cool to see them, It was cool to see them in there as their cameo appearance. And I wasn't really big on the 2017 movie anyway. Yeah, I get a couple Easter eggs in there, here and there, which is nice. And Bryan Cranston, he was decent as Zordon, And then, although it was surprising to hear the Go Go Power Rangers theme from the first movie, as the Zords are going to the city, you hear the Go Go theme Power Rangers from the movie, though. It was a nice Easter egg. And I forgot to mention, of course, from the first movie, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, of course, the ending of the movie with Van Halen, Dreams, which was cool, because I'm a fan of Van Halen, so nice to hear that in the movie. But Jason David Frank, he I think I remember he had some just I don't think him and Austin St. John, Jason the Red Ranger, they had kind of a big clashing, a butting of heads, over the years, I think. Yeah, I think so. Even in the Turbo movie, I forgot to mention, the Turbo movie was nice to see him and Amy Jo Johnson in the movie as well. Whatever the thing they did to kind of make him a little bit bad guys, at the end of the movie, dipped into some chemicals, whatever. But, Jason David Frank, man. That's just that was another big punch to the gut for me. To me and Taylor, because I was at work, my brother, he was asleep, I had to call him immediately, because, I was saying, hey, are you ready for this? Prepare yourself for the biggest disappointment you ever heard of, and I told him that Jason David Frank passed away. Tommy himself, yeah. And he was upset over it as well. Because we both enjoyed the Green Ranger, him as Tommy in the show, you know. Even he would later start in cameo appearances in some of the later newer shows as well, though. Yeah, this year just totally sucked. You know, I will say this year is like the worst year of all the among a lot of celebrities that have passed away. This has like been the worst year I've seen in a long time. I mean, let's go back on some of the memorable episodes that had featured with Tommy, especially when he was first introduced in the Power Rangers series. You know, for the 5-part episodes, you know, of the Green Ranger series. You know, when he was first introduced, you know, Out of Control, Jason's Battle, the Rescue, the Enclosing Megazords, and then the final part, Breaking the Spell. You know, it was enjoyable for the 5 parts. So introducing with the Tommy. And then after some time after he gave the power coin, the Green Ranger power coin to Jason, you know, when Jason he would later wear the shield, you know. And then later come back in the episode of Return of an Old Friend, Part 1, Part 2, with the Drummo Monster, you know, with all the parents that disappear because of the Drummo Monster. Return of an Old Friend, Part 1, Part 2. Yeah, it was like at the end of Part 1, you know, it was like when he was walking, you don't see him until when he walks into the what was it, the center where they're always at, you know. And when the camera pulls up, you see him, and he says, and you see everyone's gone. He's like, "Where is it? Where's everybody?" And then it ends with, you know, "Go Green Ranger." That's the end of Part 1. And then into Return of an Old Friend Part 2, he gets his powers back, you know. And other ones, you know, like one of my favorite episodes, you know, with the slippery shark, you know, on Pins and Needles, where the shark's spell was like pitting Tommy and Jason against one another, or Football Season with the Rhino Blaster when he's trying to learn how to play football, but he's like just doing his martial arts moves, you know. Yeah, you see some of the stuff you see is campy, cheesy, but the thing is, it was a kids show, you know, which I always enjoyed. Me and my brother always enjoyed, you know. And then later on, becoming in the White Ranger, you know, before still being the Green Ranger in the beginning of the 2nd season. And then when they later could turn into the White Ranger, and then which I like the White Ranger, I like his, you know, the whole the suit and with the sword, the talking sword, Saba, you know. And then there was also later on the 2nd season towards the end, you know, like in where there was the clone of him. They got a piece of his hair and made a clone of him, so it's White Ranger and Green Ranger, you know. Which that'll make him like the final appearance of him as the Green Ranger and the Dragon Zord as well, sadly though. And then we get the 3rd season when the Thunder Zords got destroyed, and they got the introduced, you know, the Ninja Zords and the Shogun Zord, you know. So, and then later on played the Zeo series, and then which plays into the Turbo movie though, but well, the Turbo movie, then the Zeo. Yeah, goddamn. And they were planning on doing like a 30th anniversary special. With bring back the original cast, you know, because me and my brother were not that long ago, where he was showing me a video with David Yost, and then Walter Jones came in, you know, like doing like some kind of a 30th anniversary, you know, special. Which that would suck now. Now that Jason David Frank has now passed away, I don't know what they're gonna do with that now. But yeah, but next year it'll be 30 years since the original series premiered, you know, 30 years. Jesus Christ. It just makes me feel so old at 30 years since watching the original Power Rangers when I was a kid, you know. It makes me feel so freaking old now, jeez. Yeah, but, of course, if they're going to do this 30th anniversary special of the Power Rangers, of course they're going to do a tribute to Jason David Frank, you know. It just totally sucks, you know. If they did the thing already, filmed it, whatever, or they didn't, though, they're going to do a tribute to him, you know. They'll probably make something like, oh, he passed away or whatever. So yeah, I'm pretty sure all the original cast, and even the cast of the 2nd season will be there as well, and even the girl who played, I forget her name, who played Kat, who replaced Kimberly, Amy Jo Johnson, in the 3rd season of Power Rangers. Even I forget her name though, but her playing the character Kat, you know, Catherine, which was Kimberly's replacement. I'm sure I'm including her, even Rocky Aisha, Adam as well. Even Bulk and Skull too, because I've enjoyed those. Those are such great characters, fun, hilarious side characters. You know. Yeah. God damn, this is totally this is like a childhood punch. This is a punch that literally a punch in the gut to my childhood. You know. It's like a to my childhood. God, Jason David Frank, you know, of all the Rangers, you know, many consider the most popular of the Green Ranger White Ranger. It's him, you know. Which he also did like those YouTube specials, those special YouTube videos he did, and God damn, man, this year this has literally been the worst year for me. And I'm sure a lot of fans like myself or fans of Jason David Frank, I'm sure they're all pretty pissed as well, you know. But just 49 years old, and was this a suicide? Why, Jason? Jeez. Was it depression or what? Now I know that's the most common thing for suicides is depression. I mean, hell, Robin Williams hung himself because of that. Director Tony Scott, you know, he was depressed. He just goes and jumped off a freaking bridge. Man, I just don't understand the concept. I know over decades and decades, people have committed suicide. I just don't think why I just never get past why in your own frame of mind think it's be a good idea. Okay, I'm just gonna die then. I'm just gonna kill myself. I just never understood the concept of suicide. I mean, yeah, you know, if you're having some mental health or that depression, you know, get some therapy or some help. You know, jeez. But I guess sometimes in those instances, people can't be held in their frame of mind, I guess. I mean, it's like I said, with director Tony Scott, Robin Williams, you know. Jason David Frank, man, just total shame. Like I said, that was just a punch in the gut to our childhoods, you know. To everyone's childhood, like me and my brother, and people like me who grew up at that time, you know. Their childhood is probably ruined now, too. So yeah, it just makes me. I mean, it just blew my mind when I was at work. And I was looking at the movie news or whatever, you know, and just I was like, no fucking way. A lot of people are so freaking mad right now. Probably fans, childhood fans for many years. Probably diehard Power Ranger fans as well. And he's a guy who appreciated his fans, you know. So I don't know what more I can say. I'm going too long with this, but just, you know, Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the Red Zeo Ranger. But it's like I enjoyed the 1995, the first movie. Wasn't a fan of the Turbo movie though. You can still check out my rant though, and wasn't particularly a fan of the 2017 movie either. But the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, later the White Ranger. He'll always be those, but to me it was always the Green Ranger, the original Green Ranger, you know. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank. Rest in peace, Tommy Oliver. Jason David Frank will every single Power Ranger, even dire Power Ranger fans. I've always been a fan. Me and my brother have always been fans, you know, and same to a lot of people, you know. Gonna miss you. I'm sorry you did what you had to do, and that sucked. So yeah. So Jason David Frank, rest in peace. And I'm sure all of his Power Ranger co-stars are just as saddened as all of us are. So rest in peace, man. You'll always be Tommy Oliver. To me, always even the Green Ranger especially, but also the White Ranger as well. So Go Green Ranger, go. Go Green Ranger. So this year just been the worst. And this one was just another punch to the guts to our childhoods, to mine as well. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. See y'all later.